Hello guys, this is Sapna and you're watching The Schooling Times. First of all, I would like to thank you guys so much for watching our previous video which was on why to study in Japan. So based on that video, we got so many questions on our website on the same article related to part-time job कहाँ से मिलेंगे, हमें scholarship की बाकी सब procedures क्या हैं, फिर हम ये part-time में per hour कितना earn कर सकते हैं. So in today's video, I'll try to clear all your questions one by one. So let's begin. Okay, so first question is, can international student work in Japan while they are studying? Yes, Japanese government permit international students to work in Japan. Getting a work permit is a simple and convenient procedure supported by Ministry of Japan. It can be done at immigration counter itself or at your entry airport in Japan. So second question what we have here is, where can I look for part-time job in Japan? So the answer for it is in the university, college as TARA, restaurant, hotel front desk, manufacturing units, assembly units, convenience stores, supermarkets and other such businesses. And third question is, does every part-time job in Japan require you to speak in Japanese? No, not necessarily. Though speaking and reading Japanese is always an advantage in Japan. Some part-time jobs can be managed with little fluency in Japanese, example back-end jobs in kitchen in the restaurant, arranging and sorting goods in supermarkets, manufacturing units, assembly units in other such businesses. Fourth question we have is, what is the typical hourly wage for part-time jobs? On the average, Indian rupees 700 per hour one can earn easily. But different cities, day and night shift may have some variation like 100 rupees more or less. But typically research students get 100% tuition fee scholarship and only have to manage their living expenses. But for those students who didn't receive any scholarship, have work permitted for 28 hours part-time job. But student research and other courses are able to work for 15 hours or so. So fifth question is, how important is to know Japanese if you live and work in Japan? It's absolutely a necessity to know Japanese language if you plan to study and work in Japan. Better to have JLPT level N3 cleared in India to make part-time job hunting easier. So the sixth question is quite interesting one. It says is scholarship and part-time job enough for living in Japan, or do I have to apply for an education loan? Many government institutions provide fully funded scholarships, so you don't have to pay any tuition fees. Many courses like research, engineering, vocational, technical fall in this category. Courses like language etc. may not be covered under this tuition waiver. It depends upon the institution you are applying for. Above 70% of colleges in Japan are government, public, private, provide fully or partly funded higher education. If you don't fall in above two categories, still you can manage your education by working up to maximum of 28 hours per week. It can be challenging though to maintain work and study balance. Seventh question what we have is, what are the visa requirements to apply for a part-time job? If you have a student visa and want to work in Japan, you must get the visa status changed to permission to engage in activities other than that permitted by the status of residence previously granted. This can be done at the immigration counter at the airport itself. You will be immediately granted permission to work while studying. A label is affixed to your passport mentioning the permit to work. Once it's done, you need to get it done again if you happen to change your part-time job in the course of your studentship. Next question, what is the procedure to apply to part-time job in Japan? So the procedure to apply for part-time job in Japan are firstly to get the visa status changed to permission to engage in activity other than permitted by the status of residence previously granted. You can apply at the Japanese Government Employment Service Center, that is Hello Work, to get part-time job or contract for international students. This process is time consuming and it can be a bit exhaustive. Check for signs for employee wanted, labels written in Japanese outside stores, hotels, restaurant, manufacturing units, etc. Walk in and talk to employer directly. If hired, submit your documents with the employer. Make sure employer informs the government about your hiring. Job placement office in university. Many offices of students' affairs or welfare section at university can introduce part-time job to students. You can apply at school offices directly as well. So next question is there a fixed number of hours that you have to work in Japan? The permissible work hour per week is 28 hours, up to 8 hours per day during extended school vacations. 10th question is, what happens if you work more than 28 hours in Japan?
Any of such activity is illegal in Japan and you can cause punishment including deportation.
So 11th question is as an international student, can my family member can work part-time in Japan?
Yes, they can work part-time. They do need to obtain permission at Immigration Bureau. If they change their employer, they must reapply the permission to work. Family members can work up to 28 hours per week. There is no limit for the number of hours per day. It is also mandatory for business operator to report the matter to the Employment Service Center, that is Hello Work, when they hire foreigners. Make sure your employer abide by the law.
So 12th question is, what are the basic difficulties in hunting for the part-time job in Japan?
The first one and most important one is language. It's better to learn Japanese while in India itself. Getting matching work hours to your study schedule. Working late night to earn more. Work and study balance. Hello Work takes time to process part-time.
13th question is, what kind of trouble one faces in part-time jobs?
The problem that they can face is non-payment of wage, accidents at work, and the employer neither takes care of your proper medical treatment nor the compensation. Accidents on the way from the working place to home and vice versa.
The next question asks about whom we can contact if you face any difficult situation.
So for accidents at work, on the way to work, or vice versa, in Japan, Workmen's Compensation Insurance Act can be applied and the person can get medical attention at work. Consulting officers for settling trouble at work offices at the Bureau of Labor Administration will help you to solve the unsettled trouble between employees and employers. For Tokyo, consultation can be made at the Labor Concentration Information Center in the daytime, Monday through Friday.
Whom to contact if we have any part-time job concerns?
You need to contact International Student Study Abroad Advising Office.
So we have the second last question of the day, which is 16th. So it says, is it important to maintain a part-time job record?
Yes, it is good to maintain the part-time job record. You should have work contract, employer's name, telephone number, record of number of working days, hours, payment, and the days of payment, advertisement article if you got the job through newspaper or job placement magazine.
So here comes the last question of the day, which is 17, which asks, do I have to pay tax on my part-time earning?
Yes, you do need to pay the taxes. There are two types of taxes, national tax and local municipal tax. For national tax, it is paid by the employer from your salary. And in local municipal tax, it is paid by you as per the nature of your job. And tax filling dates are from February 16 to March 15 of each year.
Thank you so much guys for sticking right till the end. I'm sure you still must be having so many questions, as Japanese is not our native language and you will be working for the first time in overseas country and an ad hoc environment. But keep this thing in mind, that this is just a part-time job and it is in your hand to manage your part-time job and your studies, because it has the full flexibility. So feel free to ask us questions on our website or you can email us as well. Then you can follow us on Instagram. Till then, stay tuned, study well and stay safe.